Everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you guys are having a great day, great night, wherever you are watching in from. Another interesting. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good one. Another interesting day in the crypto world. I don't want to say a full-on bloodbath, but in a lot of cases, depending upon where your portfolio has been a little bit of a bloodbath there. So you got Bitcoin down about 8% in the past 24 hours. We got ETH down 10%, Bitcoin Cash down quite a bit, Cardano down, NEM down, Litecoin down. Really the only thing that's had any type of reasonable day has been Ripple because they announced a partnership with MoneyGram. So let me just make sure that all this stuff is good to go. Sweet. Awesome. Taking a look at some of the chats here. Hope you guys are doing good. Panic. That is right. Nah, man, this is it's a day in the life of crypto. So, dude, what's up? What is going on, folks? What is up? Too much FUD. More whiskey. Yeah, so tonight I'm going nuts, and I got a nice glass of Poland Spring water. Going a little bit crazy. So after sitting on Crypto Happy Hour for 3 hours with you guys last night and basically having half a bottle of whiskey last night, wanted to take it a little bit easy tonight. Had a nice beer at dinner. And yeah, outside of that, just having some water. So if you guys are drinking anything interesting, drinking anything good tonight, would love to hear about it. But I'm going nuts with a nice, a little bit of nice H2O. Okay to sell Bitcoin at a loss to buy cheap alts. I mean, it's okay to do whatever you want to do in crypto. I mean, if you want to take Bitcoin and sell it at a little bit of a loss to buy cheap alts, you can certainly do that. But I would think you want to be selective with that. Everybody's all over the place, as far as there are Bitcoin bulls out there that say this is a blip in the road and you're going to see $20,000 Bitcoin in 2 weeks. And then there are other Bitcoin bears or people that think it is alt season and it's altcoin season and you're going to see Bitcoin chilling sideways between 14K to 16K for quite some time while the alts go nuts. I am not necessarily undecided, but until I see a little bit of momentum for Bitcoin, I'm more heavily weighted on probably about 75% in altcoins, 25% in Bitcoin right now. So Yoda, I'm not getting political on this chat. I am not getting political. We're staying away from that. Somebody said in all caps, is it normal? We don't have to go all caps, I can read. But is it normal to see this many cryptos down all at the same time for a week? Yeah, absolutely it is. It absolutely is normal to see this many crypto down because for the most part, I've said it before, but I'll say it again, people talk about diversification within crypto. If Bitcoin dips or if there is news that negatively affects the entire cryptocurrency market, such as the kind of FUD surrounding South Korea, trying to put in place a potential ban on, cryptocurrency trading or drafting a bill to do that, then that will bring the entire market down. And that's why diversification, I think, is more important on the way up when you're trying to find some cryptocurrencies that are going to do whatever multiples upwards and you're trying to find those other cryptocurrencies that might be pumping. When crypto drops or when the majority of crypto drops, everything for the most part kind of drops with it unless there's some random bit of pretty healthy news like with Ripple today where it spiked pretty nicely, at least at one point in time, and it's pulled back since, where they announced their partnership with MoneyGram, or they announced basically MoneyGram was doing a test run there. North Korea banned Dogecoin. Yeah, that was terrible, man. North Korea. I don't know what they're thinking about. Dogecoin is Dogecoin is Satoshi's vision. Shout out Jackson. Somebody said, sold my soul to buy this dip. Yeah, I mean, this is, we could certainly dip lower, but I think if you look at where we're at now, especially with Bitcoin in comparison to where it's been, I feel like it's a pretty solid value play to at least dollar cost average in at this dip, and that is what I've been doing for the past 24 hours. I have been dollar cost averaging my way in at this point in time through this dip. Am I positive that we're not going to get lower? Absolutely not. I mean, we could certainly go lower, but I have been dollar cost averaging in the past 24 hours to buy more Bitcoin specifically. Evelyn, congrats on $100,000 followers. Thanks for all the great content. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much, Evelyn. You've been here for quite some time, so I do appreciate the super chat and all the support. Really throughout this channel, I don't remember when it's been, but it's probably been, you've been here for quite some time, so I appreciate it. Somebody said Ripple and MoneyGram isn't guaranteed. To my understanding, I didn't go through the whole press release, but it's a pilot program. So, I mean, the entire point of a pilot program is to test out the software, or to test out XRP, to test out Ripple, see if it works, and if it works, you sign on as a long-term customer, or you start to utilize it long-term. If the pilot program does not work out, then you ditch it. So that is literally the entire point of a pilot program. Somebody said, what is the largest multiple you have achieved so far? I mean, there's been a number of alts that have done really well for me. I mean, even recently, things like 0x, things like AirSwap, things like VeChain. I mean, VeChain even in the past month was probably a 12x multiple. Cardano has been a 20-something multiple. I'm just looking at the Delta app. I've probably had multiple 10, 15, 20 multiples, but I'm sure a lot of people have as well. So VeChain and all of those have VeChain, Cardano, 0x, ZRX recently have been those type of multiples. And then back in the summer, there were a number of those that did that type of movement as well. Jeff, what are my thoughts on Cardano? I really like Cardano quite a bit. It has pulled back. I mean, we can pull up the chart here. It had a crazy, crazy run in the past 3 months. It had an incredible run from like mid-November, one spike, and then it pulled back a little bit, almost to equalization, or almost all the way back after that big, massive spike. Made a second run, cooled off a little bit, made a third run, went straight through the roof, and is now fizzled off quite a bit. I mean, it's still up massively since where I got in, so I'm fairly happy with that. But just overall with Cardano, I think that long-term, it is one of those, to me, Cardano and potentially some of the other ones, maybe like an EOS or a NEO, are probably those kind of Gen 3 blockchains that have a fairly interesting use case. I like Cardano's, I like the approach that Cardano's taking from a governance perspective, and I like Charles Hoskinson. I kind of like the way he approaches tech, and I like the research-driven approach that they are taking. So Cardano for me is like my selection of choice when it comes to Gen 3 type of, basically Gen 3 platforms that are the potential, and I'm putting this in quotes because Ethereum could very well innovate and beat out Cardano or beat out NEO or beat out EOS or beat out Lisk or any of those in the long term. But I like holding Ethereum as well as Cardano because I think Cardano is while it's valued very highly right now, and admittedly, when you look at Cardano for the level of, it's at $17 billion in market cap right now, 66 cents. It's down, I think, the all-time high. It's probably down about 50% from the all-time high. I do think that Cardano long-term could potentially be in that top 4 crypto and not necessarily beat Ethereum, but could be an alternative or could potentially compete with Ethereum. Crusader General, what is up, man? Those who have the strongest hands will reap the most benefits. The market isn't going away. We are beginning in a global transfer of wealth. We are the pioneers. HODL. I agree. And then to be pretty frank, in some cases I disagree. It depends upon what you're holding on to. You know, if you're holding on to like a Bitcoin or an Ethereum or some of these other like really strong and really just absolute crushers, in the long term, I think you're fine holding on to those, buying, accumulating, holding on. You know, if you're buying some random crap coin and you just get attached to it because you get sick gains on it, and then you hold on through thick, through thin, through FUD, through bad news, through whatever, then, you know, sometimes I personally advocate for taking profit at some point in time. You know, even if you get the initial investment out, it's never a bad thing to take a little bit of profit. So that's kind of my overall thought process. Holding's definitely a solid approach to take, but at the same point in time, I advocate like holding through the dips. Like last night, we were talking about it when all this crazy stuff was going on last night, when you had Bitcoin dipping hard and all, you know, everybody was in the comment section being like, what do I do? Do I sell? Do I sell? Do I ditch it? I was like, yeah, just relax, take it easy. You don't really know what's going on, so just don't screw up. Sit on your hands and don't do anything, because if you don't know why something's dipping, if you don't have a strategy going into it prior to, you're probably going to make a bad mistake. In a lot of cases, not to get conspiracy theorist on you, but I do think that there are a lot of scenarios where, not necessarily whales, but there is literally, you know, there's negative news that can be propagated so that the market dips and so that you sell your crypto cheap to somebody that is going to buy it in at a cheaper level on the way up, and then you're going to be buying. Basically, the thing that I think is negative news comes out. Oh my God, the dip. Finally, you get to this point in time and you're like, holy crap, this is going to zero. We're all going to die. I'm going to be poor. I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. I'm selling. And then you sell down here. And then the second everybody realizes, hey, this news isn't that big of a deal, it shoots back up, and then it goes back up to 17 grand or whatever. And then you realize, oh, wow, like, you know, maybe this isn't the worst thing in the world. I'm going to buy back in. You buy back in up here, and then the market goes back down. I've seen that happen so many times. Coiny McCoinface, what is up, dude? Bobby, any other BTC Lightning wallets operational besides Zap by Jack Mailers? Off the top of my head, I do not know. I haven't gotten a chance to utilize any of the kind of the Lightning network at this point in time. Would like to hear your midterm price predictions on decentralized privacy coins such as AST, ZEC, OMG, and BRD. I mean, those are all kind of across the board. To be pretty frank, and to be transparent, I hold AirSwap, I hold Zcash, I hold Omise Go and Bread. My biggest holding of those right now is AirSwap. I am pretty bullish on AirSwap long term. I think that valuation wise, in comparison to a lot of other, you know, when you got Dogecoin over $2 billion and you got BitConnect over $1 billion, and you have AirSwap, which is potentially a pretty game-changing decentralized exchange and decentralized protocol utilizing swap, valued significantly less than that. I'm bullish on AirSwap long term. So I don't really know what, but I don't see any reason personally why AirSwap might not be, and this could be completely wrong, but I don't see any reason why AirSwap and some of the other decentralized exchanges out there, whether it's 0x, whether it's Kyber, might not be billion-dollar exchanges, billion-dollar crypto assets. Yeah, I'm throwing that name out there. Crypto assets, baby, drink up. Why they might not be billion-dollar crypto assets in the future. So I'm pretty bullish on AirSwap. But as far as actual price predictions for those, I mean, to be pretty frank, I don't like to make price predictions on any of those, but just on the simple fact that I'm holding AirSwap, Zcash, OMG, and BRD, my midterm price predictions would be higher than they are right now, and above the Bitcoin trade pairing that they're at this point in time. So I am bullish on all four of those. What are my thoughts on Onion? Good old Deep Onion. I think they need a rebrand because this is only on Cryptopia. I think it's only on Cryptopia. I It's not KuCoin, actually. I haven't even registered for KuCoin yet. But let's see. Every time Bobby says crypto asset, drink. This is only water, so tonight you're not going to get me too rowdy. But yeah, drink up, kids. So if I'm not, I haven't done a ton, but yeah, Deep Onion is a privacy cryptocurrency utilizing Tor. So I think it's another privacy coin. The big thing there is that it's supposed to be built in with the Tor integrated natively on Tor, so that there's that element of privacy as well. I think there's probably some debate as far as how private the Tor network is. And there's probably positives and negatives to every privacy coin out there, whether it is Monero, whether it is Zcash, whether it's Nav, whether it's Verge, whether it's Deep Onion. But I think, off the top, they just needed a new name. But I do like privacy coins. I definitely do like privacy coins. And for all the men in here, this is a let's keep the hitting on to a minimum. There's probably like 2 females in here, so let's relax, boys. Okay. Josh, what's up, Bobby? Still feeling good about Bloom Token? I am feeling good about Bloom Token. I think that they are, at this point in time, Bloom hasn't really made it a massive priority to get listed on exchanges, and that is probably holding back the price short term. I think it's basically only on Ether Delta and IDEX right now, but long term, I am positive on Bloom. I think the team is really solid. They are in, I talked about it a little bit previously, but they're kind of in that social circle, Silicon Valley area, at least in my opinion, with District 0x, as well as Gems, the Gems ICO that's coming up. They have kind of that similar blend, and they're also kind of bouncing synergies off of each other. And I think that Bloom, the amount of money they raised and the level of valuations in the crypto world right now, I've been happy to at least see that it's held with the value of Ethereum at minimum, which has pumped, Ethereum has obviously pumped pretty nicely since I put money in. I think when I put money into the Bloom ICO, it was at like 450 in general, or ETH was at 450, and now we have $1,100 ETH, but it's held the ETH pairing, which I'm happy with. So all revolutions come to price. We should thank God and Satoshi that this time the only bloodbaths are at CoinMarketCap. Thanks for the great content. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think this is a long-term thing, and there's going to be ups and downs, and you have to be ready for it. You have to be used to it. And this is not, if you want 2% not 2% daily. This isn't BitConnect. If you want 2% annual renewal, if you want 2% annual interest rates or 2% ROI annually, then throw your money in a treasury bond and relax and go off from there. But if you're okay making 10x gains, but you have to deal with 40-50% volatility, and that's just something that has to happen. Thoughts on atomic swapping coming soon? I think atomic swaps are interesting. The one thing that I'm fairly interested in seeing is, so number one, a lot of people talk about Lightning Network. A lot of people are talking about atomic swaps. A lot of people are talking about SegWit. I'm fairly curious to see how much those actually affect and positively impact like Bitcoin scalability and the scalability of a lot of these other cryptos, specifically Bitcoin. I think that both SegWit and Lightning a lot of people are promising that, and I'm a massive fan of Bitcoin, but I think a lot of people are promising that as like the end, the savior of Bitcoin, the savior of cryptocurrency. So I don't know if that's necessarily the case or not, but we shall see. So what do I think about NVO? To be pretty frank, it's probably smaller than something that I've kept mostly on the mind recently. If the website loads. So another decentralized exchange. I don't know too much about the team and kind of why this decentralized exchange or how this decentralized exchange might be different from something like Kyber, 0x, AirSwap, BitShares, whatever it was. So I would have to do a little bit of diligence on how this DEX works and why it might be legit or why it might not be legit. But I guess it's cross protocol. You're seeing Ethereum to seeing Ethereum to Bitcoin. You're not just seeing ERC20 tokens or something of that nature. Slavic, thank you very much for the super chat, man. Appreciate that. And Evian, what is up, dude? Talk to us about the super hype of Gem or Gems and the 45,000 members within their Telegram group. Protocol for decentralized mechanical Turk. So where do we got here? Gems. So from what I know about these guys, and I would like to participate in the ICO, I actually missed out on the whitelist. So I'm gonna be pretty frank. I missed out on the whitelist from these guys. So I don't know if I'm actually gonna be able to participate in the ICO because I'm an idiot and I missed out on it. So there we go. But I have some friends that literally spend all their time doing ICO research, and this is one that they are absolutely confident in. Like, they think this is going to crush it. I've talked to Rory actually a little bit via email. Seems like a good dude. Another, like I said, they're kind of in that loop with the team from Props. I mean, excuse me, not the team from Props, the team from Bloom. Another couple Peter Thiel fellows or Thiel fellows. Forbes 30 under 30. Harvard guy. Obviously smart folks. But to my knowledge, these guys are going to sell out their ICO pretty damn quickly. And I would expect the ICO to crush it. Like I said, I didn't get in on the whitelist, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put money into it. But depending upon how hard it pumps, once it hits an exchange, I'll probably hop on for the ride. Ezekiel, can you talk about Loopring and their LRC Loopring and their market cap mistake? So I don't know exactly how this is a market cap mistake or what kind of the deal is with this. Looks like the market cap was up to like 133 and then a pullback. I guess they adjusted the supply or the I would assume they had a different circulating supply. This actually happened with our good old friends at BitConnect, where they had a really high circulating supply or a higher circulating supply. Here we are in America. But yeah, I don't know too much about these guys or why the market cap adjusted, but I would assume the circulating supply was different than what was actually circulating, and they reduced CoinMarketCap reduced that. So I don't know too much about the tech, but I wouldn't worry about it if it's something that you're super scared about. At what X would you consider chasing out of AirSwap? For me personally, I think that I don't know what X it would be, but I think that it depends on what the rest of the market is doing. Where we go, if it hits over $500 million, maybe I might take out the initial investment. If you're looking at $1 billion in market cap, if you see a 4x from here, that might be a point where I take a little bit more out. But I still think that there's quite a bit of room for something like AirSwap. When you look at AirSwap, one of the things that I like to do is look at the comparables, and I would, while it's not technically the exact same thing, but I would compare. From a competition perspective, I would compare AirSwap to 0x. So you have 0x at $900 million in market cap. You have Kyber at $550 million in market cap, and then you got AST at, what do we got here? $250 it was, I believe. So I like to look at that, and I see AirSwap as the least quote-unquote valuable. And technically speaking, I would say they're all somewhat comparable. They all have pretty solid teams in place. They all have very respectable teams. And I don't see there's any reason why AirSwap couldn't be comparable in terms of the overall valuation in the long run. BCP. Actually, this is BCPT. So I don't know if this is Block Mason credit protocol or what this might be. So I actually, if this is BCPT, I actually met the team from Block Mason when I was speaking at NAC3. Met the founder, got a chance to talk to him, which is pretty cool. Where is he? He's down here. What do we got here? So what do we got? Oh, got to hang out a little bit with Tim from Block Mason. So if that's what you're referring to, BCPT, Tim was a real sharp dude. I liked him a lot. From an investment perspective, I haven't done a ton of just diligence on exactly kind of what the deal is with them. But yeah, overall, I thought Tim was a sharp dude that definitely has his kind of head on his shoulders. Seemed very technically competent. Somebody said, what percentage of your portfolio will the BitConnect X ICO be? I would say it's going to be at a negative 99.9% portion of my portfolio. Just conservatively speaking. Steve and Crypto IOTA, thank you very much for the super chats there. Thoughts on Deep Brain Chain and Q-Link? So I'll take a look at Deep Brain Chain. Another one that could probably use for a little bit of a update to the branding. I don't know who exactly put that branding together, but let's see here. Oh, my internet's dying, or what the heck is happening here? Well, there we go. So, yeah, apparently I'm on 56K dial-up right now at this point in time. So this is one of the Neo, I believe this is one of the Neo ICOs. I haven't done too much research into them. There's a couple different Neo ICOs that have come out recently that, to my knowledge, their Neo ICOs are picking up steam quite a bit. And it's something that you might want to look into more and more. That could be kind of one of the new hot areas to throw a little bit of money into. I think Deep Brain Chain might be the largest Neo ICO, if I'm not mistaken, at this point in time, or one of the largest Neo ICOs. So I'm trying to, this 56K dial-up internet is not helping me at this point in time. So I can't go too much into Deep Brain Chain and kind of going across the, across the board there. But apologies on that. ICX thoughts on Korean coin with the FUD. It took a while. I mean, to put it into comparison for ICX or for any of these other ones, it took a while for the China coins to, for the China coins like Neo and for some of the other ones to actually make any semblance of a comeback after China banned ICOs. So it could, depending upon what happens with South Korea, it could negatively affect some of these South Korean focused ICOs. I would say that would probably be one of the areas that you'd want to potentially watch out for. And again, this is not a definitive cryptocurrency trading ban in South Korea, but the potential for that in the future. But that's one thing that if you're throwing money into Korean ICOs, that you would want to, do a little bit of just overall diligence on. As far as Icon goes, I would say it is fairly interesting. But I don't know necessarily how much I would say Icon's pretty interesting, but I don't know how much the South Korea is going to specifically affect that. I do think that there's a lot of kind of unknown around that. Somebody said I don't like BNB pumping. I want my cheap discounts. Thoughts on Space Kim ICO? Looks like it's going to the moon. Congrats on 100K subs. Yeah, Space Kim ICO. It looks like a big deal. Big deal. Yeah, this is literally, it's going to the moon and or to This is pretty. The sad part is somebody's going to throw money at this, and they're actually going to. Yeah, there's already been $9,000 of contributions into. I mean, if somebody pays money for CryptoKitty, somebody's going to throw some money into the Space Kim ICO. Thoughts on Request Network? See if CoinMarketCap is not dead anymore. Oh, CoinMarketCap's still dead. Request Network, another pretty interesting crypto. I think there's a fairly strong team in place. It's performed pretty well following their ICO. As in regards to being a part of my particular portfolio, it is not a part of my portfolio at this point in time. But it is something that I feel like it might be potentially a little bit early on in terms of e-commerce on the blockchain or e-commerce on Ethereum. However, I think long term it could potentially be it could be a big game changer long term, but I still think we're probably a little bit early on in terms of commerce actually in a decentralized manner. And I think that depending upon kind of where we go, it may or may not pan out long term. Somebody said, why I try not to answer those as much as possible. Why does BitConnect X need 585 million? Because they're running out of money from referral fees? I don't know. Ethos will destroy all exchanges, just a statement. To be honest, I disagree with that, but I mean they could, but I don't think Ethos is going to destroy Coinbase or Gemini or GDAX or Kraken or Bitstamp or any of those. I mean, they could definitely take some market share, but as far as destroy, I don't think so. When you first look at a new coin, is there a market cap range you tend to look at? For example, between 1 billion, 250 million. It depends upon it depends around what I'm going for in terms of just the market cap in general. Like if CoinMarketCap is working at all, I might go on CoinMarketCap and in some cases out. So it's just not, I don't know why it's really not working well. But so if we're looking on CoinMarketCap and we want to find something, depending upon where you want to look, in a lot of cases, I might look between 200 million and like $1 billion in market cap, depending upon the level of return that I'm after. In some cases, like recently, I told you guys I hopped into Mercury Protocol, GMT. I kind of went dumpster diving in EtherDelta and was looking for something that was like sub 30 mil in market cap that I thought had at least some level of an investable thesis behind it that it could maybe pump up quite a bit. And that one had Cuban behind it and a couple other things there as well. So it just depends upon what level of return you're going for and how risky you want to be. I would say that, the smaller market caps will likely be more risky, although everything in crypto is risky. There's no like, I would say not even Tether, because who knows if Tether is actually backed by anything, but not even Tether is without risk. So your opinion on Nick O'Lock token? Is that like Nickelodeon? What is that? Or am I just stupid? Nick O'Lock. Is that real? Token and coin operate. Is this? I don't know. Are they tokenizing this? Is this like Sears going on? Jeez. Haven't looked at Vibe yet, big partnerships. I know they have a couple nice backers. Vibe does for sure. They've certainly pumped in price to, I don't want to say necessarily unsustainable level, but Vibe is pumped real hard, obviously. I'll pull up Binance. Actually, the second it got listed to Binance, it went through the roof and then came all the way down. So I think Vibe is down 7. I hope anybody here didn't buy that top on Binance with Vibe, because Vibe is now down 82% in the past 2 days. It was up 400%. It has basically come all the way back down. Don't go crazy and buy on something like that. That is horrifying. Because if you bought at the top, you are just dead. You are just dead. I was there for the Vibe train. It was nuts. Yeah, it definitely was crazy. Check BitClave. You're welcome. Yeah, I've actually had the BitClave team reach out to me a few different times. They're doing the whole decentralized search engine thing. So let's see here. Yep, I believe they're doing decentralized search engines. Or a decentralized search engine. Matt Gold, I talked a little bit. Hopefully you were here for it when I talked a little bit about Request Network. Definitely am a fan of it, but it may be a little bit early on, in terms of actual usability and adoption. Thoughts on Cash? We talked about Cash a little bit last night, but Siacoin is one that's showing a somewhat of a sign of life after dying. Siacoin was one of those, where is it? Is it maybe Poloniex? Yeah. Siacoin was a dog for a long time. Siacoin just fell off the face of the earth and has made a strong move since December. Let's see how hard of a move that was since December. Siacoin's up a nice 500-600% since kind of December, since it bottomed out. At one point in time, Siacoin was down, just a cool 93% from its all-time high against Bitcoin. So Siacoin was definitely one that really took a beating since mid-June and took quite a bit of time to really recover itself. Raleigh Allen, what's up, Bobby? What is up, dude? Coiny McCoinface, same with Qdom. My man, Coiny McCoinface, all over that Qdom game. We'll pull up Qdom real quick. Just take a look at the chart. We'll look at, Brian Bittrex the longest, I suppose. So Qdom's had a pretty nice run off the... Qdom bottomed out, at least initially so far. Short-term bottom out in December. It's up 400+% against Bitcoin in December. It's been part of that. There are a lot of cryptos out there that have just been part of that altcoin season. So Qdom is certainly one of those. What do you think of HPB? Looks really promising. Sorry, I missed that one, Jason. High performance blockchain. Does it have a website? What do we got here? I don't know why CoinMarketCap is just absolutely screwing the pooch right now. There we go. It's 1,000 on CoinMarketCap, so this might be... I haven't looked at this one at all, to be pretty frank with you. Yeah, I don't know too much about these guys, so apologies on that. I'm assuming it's sub probably 5 mil market cap, but I haven't had a chance to go through these bad boys. So, Arian, what's up? Thanks for the videos. You're welcome. I appreciate the super chat. I wonder how DApps will make money if we're trying to decentralize everything. So, in a lot of respects, how DApps are making money in the short term, it's token sales and utility tokens and hoping that the value of their tokens appreciates long term. If you look at any ICO, most companies are keeping a portion of their tokens, whether it's 30%, whether it's 50%, whether it's 60%, whatever it is. Tokens, companies are a lot of companies out there are keeping a portion of their, basically keeping a portion of their tokens, and that's kind of how they're sustaining themselves in the short to medium to long term. As far as actual legitimate economic viability behind some of these companies, I think it's still pretty early on. I think there's going to be a lot of companies that probably burn through quite a bit of cash and don't make it long term. We'll have to see how that ends up panning out, but I think initially speaking, companies are just sustaining on the massive amounts of Ethereum or Neo or Bitcoin or whatever that they raised through an ICO. What do you think about My Wish coin? Smart contracts on the how they raise through a token sale. Let's see. Long day. 850 users, 200 contracts. I don't see anything about the amount of money that they raised. A wedding loss. Wedding contracts, lost key contracts, will contracts. You're a crazy head if you you're definitely a crazy head if you're throwing your wedding contract on the blockchain. You know, little Kanye, we want prenup on mywish.io. Scott Walker, I'll get to. There you go. What are your thoughts on QLC? Sounds like a pretty interesting idea if it catches on. First chat. I appreciate the super chat there, dude. Thank you very much for that. QLC. Actually, we're on Coin Kodak. So it's just on QCoin, I believe. I think this is kind of a rip-off of CoinMarketCap. We got the website here. No description. qlink.mobi. Can't get a .com, eh? Decentralized mobile network, open source telecom infrastructure. Fairly interesting, maybe off the top, but the big thing, and I think it's with everything crypto, with everything ICO, with all these things is, oh yeah, it sounds fantastic to have a decentralized mobile network. I'm sure a lot of people out there hate Verizon or AT&T or whatever it is that you utilize for crypto. I mean, not for crypto, for your cell phone network. You get paid, you charge a bunch of money, this, that, whatever. Everybody hates and bitches and moans about whatever their carrier is, but at that point in time, you, with like something like this, unless the service is better, like, I could have the most decentralized thing on the planet, but if it's not better service than Verizon, I would never in a bajillion years use it, and I would pay hundreds of dollars more a month to use something that's better service. So I don't know too much about the service here. I don't know how legit it is. I don't know how good it might be, but they have to have it. Every decentralized network, every decentralized product, every decentralized thing out there does have to have it's got to have a better platform. It has to have better usability than the centralized version, because the majority of people do not care about centralization. The majority. There are definitely people that care about centralization. There are a lot of people at the heart of crypto, and the reason they got in was because they are very much against centralization. But when you open it up to the general public, most people don't know what decentralization is, nor do they give a crap about what it is. How worried should we be about government starting to get involved with cryptocurrency? Thank you very much for the super chat, Sammy. I think there's probably a level of worry that you want to have, to be pretty frank. I think that one of the only things really that can bring down crypto right now and slow down crypto's big run is governments. I'm going to be pretty frank, especially the U.S. After looking at what happened with China, I think, it is what it is. And if the same thing happens with South Korea, then fine, so be it. The market will probably dip short term, but long term might be okay. But if the U.S. government comes out and drops a bomb, I think that's going to suck, because there's a lot of other governments out there that follow suit with the U.S. So Yeah, I would always have an eye on it to see what's potentially going on with those, basically what's potentially happening with a lot of this stuff, and make sure that you're all okay. We said, are we all going to prison, Bobby? No, no, you're not. As long as you pay your taxes, you're fine. Check out BitClave. Yeah, we talked about BitClave previously. Am I emotionally attached to Cardano? No, I'm not. I am a fan of Cardano long term, but I am definitely not emotionally attached to it. If I am confident in the project long term, I do think the project long term is going to be legit. And I think out of all the Gen 3 platforms, whether it's EOS, whether it's Neo, whether it's whatever, I think that they probably have the best chance to succeed. However, is it dipping in the short term right now? Absolutely. Is it on the back of a, did I get in at 3 cents? So when I'm looking at it at 69 cents, I'm not that worried. Yeah, I did. So I got in early, and I kind of had that luxury. You might have got in at $1.25, and you probably wouldn't be, you're probably not feeling the same thing at that point in time if you got in that late. But I would have no problem selling. I mean, like I said before, I sold my initial investment plus some profit, so I'm obviously not emotionally attached to it. I don't go to bed every night and cry about Cardano, or get down on my knees next to my bed and ask for Cardano forgiveness or something like that. But it has treated me well from an investment perspective. I'll tell you that much. Have you ever heard or looked at the Tokia ICO? I have not. We can bring it up very briefly here. I don't love that because probably not the best forever free cryptocurrency exchange. I don't know. Let's see here. Look at the Bitcoin talk. Very dodgy stuff. So that doesn't, yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much about them, but when the first thing that you Google, or one of the first things you Google, says scam, probably not the best thing. Do your due diligence on them. See if it's legit. See if it's not. Yeah, somebody mentioned the Delta app. I like Delta. I actually started using Delta instead of Blockfolio, and I like Delta quite a bit. I think it's pretty solid. Delta's been a good one. Somebody said thoughts on Packcoin. I don't know what the symbol is on this bad boy. The People's Choice. What is this? The Rocks cryptocurrency? I don't even know. I'm kidding, but not really. CoinMarketCap is still dead. Packcoin redemption offering. Yeah, I don't know too much, to be pretty frank. I've seen a lot of people shill Packcoin in my mentions and all that stuff. I don't know all that much about, I don't know all that much about Packcoin. Just looking at it from the initial, just looking at it off the top, maybe you like it, but I mean, I look at this website and I just see stock photos and I kind of see dog shit. Like the people's, the people's cryptocurrency, this, that, like, to be honest, that kind of reminds me of Electronium. Like this is the most accessible. This is the people's cryptocurrency. This is whatever. This is whatever. So yeah. Somebody said Packcoin was pumped by JR Business. Yeah, that, I got a haircut tomorrow, bro. Relax. Let it flow. Let it flow through you. Haircut tomorrow, baby. I could put this website together in 7.5 seconds. Little WordPress, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And a quick shout out to, if you guys watch Doug Polk Crypto, I think he's also a poker player as well. But he has some pretty awesome videos now, and he did one talking about that bro you guys just mentioned, that pump pack coin, and him and his buddies were pumping Cardano, so whatever, pumping Cardano. They were pumping Ripple at the top. They were pumping Verge at the top, and then there was one other one that they were pumping at the top that were literally all the cryptos at the top, and it's like these dudes just created so many like 17-year-old bag holders. It's so funny. So yeah, shout out to Doug Polk for I don't really know what a public and I don't know what a public key and a private key is, but yeah, oh, it was Tron. Yeah, Tron was the other one. Yeah. Bag holders on bag holders on bag holders. Logan said, I'm 17, a-hole. Oh, I'm 47, so relax, bro. I'm 30 years old and you're much wiser. Not one crypto expert is even bringing up the Ethereum fork on January 19th. Worthless information. Yeah, I don't know if that Ethereum fork to me doesn't look like anything legitimate whatsoever at all. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, when somebody called Ripple the most decentralized cryptocurrency, even more so decentralized than Bitcoin, your boy was dying. I was laughing pretty hard. I was, say what you want. I think Ripple, to be pretty frank, I don't own Ripple. I'm not a big Ripple fan. They're probably one of the most experienced business teams out there, though, and they know what they're doing. They have massive partnerships, all that stuff. But to call Ripple decentralized and more decentralized than Bitcoin, I don't know what you're smoking, but throw me some of that. I don't know what you're drinking, but get me a bottle of it, or you're just dumb. Hey, Bobby, what do you think is the most innovative crypto over the last year, regardless of price, just based on tech and real-world use? I would say the most innovative in the last year in 2017 was probably Ethereum. Whether or not you like Ethereum, I think Ethereum has kind of changed the game with CryptoKitties, and I'm kidding about CryptoKitties, but at the same time, not really. When you think about how many businesses and how many companies are based off the back of Ethereum, how many ICOs that you probably have money in, how many new decentralized applications that are out there built off the back of Ethereum, there's a lot out there. And I think Ethereum, when you look at it, both in the case of the companies that are built on the back of Ethereum, as well as the new competitors that are happening with Ethereum, whether it's EOS, whether it's Neo, whether it's Cardano, whether it's there's Qtum, whether it's Lisk, there's all these other ones that are competing to be the next Ethereum. So you have all these companies built on the back plus competitors. I think that Ripple is going to do more for crypto mass adoption than Bitcoin ever do or will do. I disagree with that. Or than Bitcoin ever will do, or to be honest, I disagree. I think Ripple is built for financial institutions to move money around, and I don't really think it's going to do all that much for mass adoption, to be pretty frank. Stop eating at Fuddruckers. They got great burgers. It's all right, Logan. I forgive you, brother. I was kidding, too. Qtum is half the price of Neo. It's already POS, smart contract, BTC. Yeah, my man Coiny McCoinface has been all over the Qtum game for quite some time. It's I'm not opposed to Qtum. I'm definitely not opposed to it. I've considered building up a little bit of a position in it for sure. I've definitely considered building up a position. I do not have one in here. I don't have a position within Qtum at this point in time, but I do think Qtum has its merits. It's probably a more legit project than a few of them that are already above the, kind of above the deal. Shayla Cohen, one-step sign up to what is this crap now? Hold on, let me get a few people off this chat. Hop down to Baltimore. I'll get you a real burger. I love burgers. Burgers, buffalo chicken, as you guys know. I might even go nuts with the buffalo chicken tomorrow. That is actually, I will probably, just as a heads up, I'll probably get a buffalo chicken wrap for lunch tomorrow. Big heads up if you want to make any trades based upon that. You know, never do I provide financial advice, but I will be getting a buffalo chicken wrap for lunch tomorrow. John Hazeltine, appreciate the super chat and thank you very much. Rick Solano, thoughts on AppCoin APP? Let me see if we got the website off this. There we go. AppCoins. This could potentially be pretty interesting, depending upon how they could pull it off. If you have a iTunes type store on the blockchain, if there's anything like that, it could potentially be interesting. I haven't done enough diligence on the team to see if they are super legit or not, and I haven't gotten a chance to. I don't know if they have a beta product. It looks like they have some level. If they have kind of live users, then, or I guess that's future users. I don't know if they're taking, I would assume maybe if it says Aptoid live users map, AppCoin's future users, if they're taking an existing product that is not decentralized and moving that to a decentralized nature, that might be what they are doing at this point in time. I'm not too sure. But I might add AppCoins to, I'll probably add AppCoins to the ICO list or to the white paper list that I have to read at this point in time. Kraken has been down for the longest time ever. I do know Kraken is, I'm in a Slack group with a bunch of people from New York and in San Francisco, and there's one of the engineers actually works at Kraken. I think they just completed a lot of updates to, I think they just completed a number of updates to the actual Kraken backend infrastructure that I think is going to advance, hopefully, Kraken quite a bit. Kraken was one of the more prominent exchanges, and then they just got, I think they fell behind. So I don't use Kraken at all, but it'd be nice to have some more selection for exchanges for a lot of people. So who knows? But I know they've been working pretty hard on maybe getting back into prominence. So, Andy, what's up? Thoughts on Pillar? Thank you very much for that super chat, dude. Appreciate it. So, there's a couple of projects like this. Let's see how big they are. 258 market cap. So I need to be pretty frank, I need to look into these guys more. This might be one of the first times, even for a crypto of this size, this might be one of the first times I've seen this one brought up on the chat. So I need to look into these guys a little bit more at this point in time to really give you anything of any type of detail. I haven't used the wallet at all. So I don't know if anybody in the chat, if anybody has used the wallet, would love to hear what you thought about it. Guys, if you I try to get to as many questions and comments as possible, but if you just continually type the same question into the chat 7 bajillion times over, I'll put you in timeout or I'll toss you a little butt out. We are in a crypto recession. Stop talking about ICOs. Your mommy. So one thing I will say, I'll get to the super chats there in a second, is first of all, we're not in a crypto recession. Like, if you think we're in a crypto recession, you're probably, no offense, probably not the smartest person in the world. I know CoinMarketCap is basically deado right now, but I mean, zoom out on anything Bitcoin, on the entire market capitalization of crypto. But I mean, look at the past year. We're not in a recession. Like, let's relax with some of that crap. Like, yeah, we have gone up. Crypto has gone up from back when I started making videos in early August. It was sub $3,000 Bitcoin. Now we're up to $13,000 Bitcoin, and Ethereum was at $300. Now it is massively, massively higher. All the other tokens are ridiculously higher than they were previously. I don't think we're in a recession. I mean, as far as ICOs go too, yes, now might be a hotter time to look at ICOs, but you also want to be somewhat contrarian in nature. Like, if you think it's a recession and you don't want to, if you don't want to put money into something, then don't put your money in something. But, I mean, if you really think this is a recession, I don't think you've seen anything yet. So wait till we actually hit a crypto bear market, because we're really not in a bear market yet. I would say this is a logical pullback from where we've seen things. And just for all you guys that may or may not be freaking out right now, this to me is a healthy and logical pullback. Like I said, it's a slight correction. Could we correct a lot further? Oh, yeah, absolutely. But is this a recession? Yeah. We're all crypto rich. Come on. How profitable is Namer right now as a shitcoin? NMR. What do you got? Somebody say there. No, it's not back up. Forget where somebody said. I remember hearing about these guys pretty early on. I don't know. It doesn't have as much hype around it as maybe some of the other ones do. It's an interesting idea, absolutely. I don't know if it needed to be really tokenized, but yeah, I feel like it's lost some steam. It was probably I don't want to say a more interesting ICO, more interesting token in the past, but I am not. Yeah, I'm not too, I don't know. XLM is mooning, somebody said. So let's take a look. Let's define mooning. Let's see, folks. Oh, XLM is mooning. You are right. Yep, that's a nice little run. So Coiny McQuinface, someday I will convert you from Cardano to Qtum. Yeah, well, yeah, let's see. Convert me, convert me. Any favorite real estate ICOs? How about blockchain applications in real estate? Rex, Token Trust. There's also, I think, Proppy. There's a couple other ones too. I don't necessarily have any favorite real estate ICOs. I feel like they're probably fairly early on I feel like they're a little bit early on. I do think blockchain in real estate is interesting. I think it's going to eventually develop into a pretty applicable use case for crypto, but I do think it is still probably pretty early on. Somebody said they shilled XLM on CNBC. If BK was shilling XLM on CNBC, dump it right now because it's going to dump afterwards. Are the markets dropping due to or correcting due to Korea? I think Korea probably has some portion of it. I think it's also probably just people taking profits and a little bit of a sell-off. Crypto's typically had a little bit of a dip come January. Might be due to that. But I would say a little bit on Korea and probably some other aspects as well that might be somewhat unknown. Doug Zara, I missed out on Cardano. Is 69 cents a decent price to get in now? Personally, do I think it could potentially go lower? I do think it could certainly go lower. We're also at a decent pullback already. I'm not adding to my bag right now. I do think that in my mind, and this could be completely wrong, but this kind of line right here, and I don't know jack shit about TA, but just, I mean, in my mind, from just kind of this 5,000 Satoshi line, like there's a fair bit of support, at least with Cardano around that. It's kind of stuck to that. If it dips below that and closes below that on a daily on a daily candle, I would probably think Cardano is going to stay below that for a little bit of time, and if that happens, I would look to add to my position if it dips below that 5,000 Satoshi mark that it's kind of just been hanging out above. If not, it might just be consolidating here for another move up. A lot of CNBC shilling. Crypto Spark, what's up, my dude? Hope you are having a good one, brother. What is my actual age? I don't know. You'll never know. Sorry for the wasted $2 Canadian. I'll buy you some maple syrup with that. Rick Solano, what's up, dude? AppCoin's pretty legit. What do you think about it? I think we already talked about AppCoin. So I hope you were there for, I think we talked about, that might have been your question. There we go. Yep. So yeah, we talked about AppCoin, Rick. Appreciate that. What do you think about smart cash and masternodes in general? So I don't know too much about smart cash off the top. Masternodes are interesting. The one thing, so I think we've talked about smart cash in the past a little bit. Privacy and masternodes and instant pay. So I believe, yeah, privacy, masternodes, instant pay, buzzwords, fast, privacy, inclusive. And you throw in masternodes, you get a little bit of that recurring revenue in the mix. I think masternodes are interesting. Masternodes might have a decent year moving forward. The one thing I would say, and at least in my mind with crypto, is like depending upon what you actually get from a masternode standpoint, like let's say it's 5 or 10% annually. When you look at holding a crypto and staking a crypto or buying a masternode, basically, there's an opportunity cost to that. So you might be holding on to, let's just use Smart Cash for an example. You have a masternode of Smart Cash and I have no idea what the annualized return might be for having a masternode, what you might get paid for that, how many tokens you might earn. But let's just say, for example, 10%. 10% is not that much on an annual basis, especially when you think about cryptocurrency in general. So you might be holding on and you might have a decent sized bag for masternodes where you're getting 10%. But you might see other crypto out there pulling a 10x. And that is I think it might be a nice stable portion of your portfolio, but I don't think there's going to be a ton of people out there that are just throwing all their money in masternodes simply because that is something that there might be people who think that there's going to be better opportunities elsewhere. Somebody said, no disrespect, dude. I like your videos all the time, but I think you had a little too much to drink. I really love when people say that because I'm drinking Poland Spring water. So, yeah, I'm crushing the booze, bro. So why don't you take your goody two-shoes comments and walk right on out? I'm kidding, but seriously. Like, literally, I'm drinking water. So, you guys are paying my ass. I'm about to open up the window and swan dive on out. Getting real tipsy off that Poland Spring, baby. Hey, Bobby, what's up? 47. Yeah. No, who knows? Brian, what's up, dude? Any thoughts on Storm? So what do we got here? Storm token, gamified micro tasks. When's the token sale going down? Is it already down yet? 32 mil. Curious how this might differ from Gems. I know Gems is kind of that micro task in nature. I I know there's a fancier name for it on gems, but curious how this is specifically different from, I know this is quote unquote gamified, so I'd be interested to see kind of what the overall difference there is. I'm more of a smartass when I'm sober. Yes, I am. I'm definitely a smartass. Apologies. Thoughts on Spectra AI? How do you super chat? I don't really know. Pull her up. I feel like we've talked about these guys a little bit in the past. They might have reached out to me too. Arcane Bear, Media Partners. Tokenized balance sheet. I'd be curious if this is a potential security token or kind of how this is structured, what type of platform, how legit the platform is, or really what the ICO is about. Let's take a look. You got to register. Yeah. So I haven't registered at all for the ICO, for the platform. So I can't really comment too much. I mean, as far as the market research team set up, when's the actual platform getting launched? Mainnet integration. So I guess they're going live mainnet in 2018. They have the token pre-sale, they have the public sale. They're integrating with the testnet at this point in time. So depending upon how they can execute, it might be interesting to see how it might be an interesting investment opportunity. I feel like a lot of things are solid investment ops going into mainnet, and once they hit mainnet, they might fizzle out a little bit. So I don't know too much about these guys or kind of what they're really trying to do long term, but the fact that the stage in which they're at is somewhat interesting in the long term. When selling altcoin transfers them into ETH or BTC, pulling out initial investment, need to pay taxes on that. Heard some banks closing accounts when they saw transactions with Coinbase. Thoughts? So Ethereum, crypto to crypto, Bitcoin, any crypto to crypto, at least in the US, any crypto to crypto trade is taxable. You have to pay capital gains, or also you can register losses with any crypto to crypto taxation or with any crypto to crypto trades. So if you take US dollars, you buy Bitcoin, and then you take that Bitcoin, you buy Ethereum, or you buy some other cryptocurrency with it, you have to pay capital gains taxes basically on from Bitcoin to when you transfer it to Ethereum to when you transfer Ethereum to OMG to back to Ethereum to back to Bitcoin and then back to USD. You're basically taxed at every literal step of the way, which is why I'm using Bitcoin.tax, or I already used Bitcoin.tax to run some reports. If you need any help with that, there's a link below to Bitcoin.tax in the description of the video, as well as cointracking.info. Cointracking's got some more features for tax reporting, but Bitcoin.tax was simpler. I basically just downloaded a CSV file and ran that through. But yeah, it's rough. So a lot of people, I think, initially thought they would only be taxed when they took money out and they put money in, took money out of Coinbase or whatever it was. But when they basically took money out of Coinbase, but that is not the case. Somebody said you just lost 500 viewers wasting time talking about shitcoins. I'm going to lose sleep tonight, brother. I'm going to lose sleep tonight. Take a look at Bitcoin, see what's happening with Bitcoin. Is it still holding weight? It's going down a little bit. Not too bad, though. Use Livecoin Watch at CMC, but live and still works. Yeah, let's see. Not Litecoin Watch, apparently. Nice, here we go. Little Livecoin Watch. Mark, what's up? Hey, old man. Thank you. I appreciate the sympathy there. Can you check out Power Ledger? They won the Extreme Finalist, or the Finalist in Extreme Tech Finals at Richard Branson's Necker Island in February. Asset Germination is awesome. Love you. Cheers. Thank you. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate it. Power Ledger is, to be honest, that was one of my biggest regrets of 2017. I had an opportunity to get into Power Ledger pre-ICO with a very solid rate. All I had to do was do a little bit of a video on YouTube, and I turned it down because I looked at Power Ledger and I asked a couple of my friends, and I said, "Hey guys, what's up? Power Ledger wants to pay me in Power Ledger, in Power tokens to do a video for them." And one of my friends put money into it pre-sale, and then said they were screwing him over post-sale. And I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to participate in this if they're not treating their pre-sale investors correctly. So I'm not going to make a video because I don't want to screw over anybody that sees the video and puts money in Power Ledger, and then I'm going to look like the bad guy. Unfortunately, Power Ledger pulled a 10 plus X. So any money I would have made, I probably would have had mid 5 figures of Power Ledger tokens at this point in time, which is unfortunate. Somebody said hindsight is 2020. Yeah, it definitely is. Hindsight is definitely 2020. But yeah, that is. It was. I have always looked back and I'm like, damn it! I not only would I have made money, but you guys would have all made money too. But I made the wrong call, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. So, but Power Ledger is a legit company. I think that they've done pretty well since they've done well since the ICO. They've gotten some partnerships and they've executed pretty well. But I'm bitter. I'm just bitter because I I didn't get all those gains. Garrett, what's up, dude? Based on your knowledge, if I was starting from zero today, which top 3 coins would you snatch up for reasonably fast growth? I don't. What is my dream car? Jaguar F type. If I didn't live in the Northeast, if I lived in like somewhere warm weather, Jaguar F type would be sweet. I rented one time, and that was the most legit thing ever. I was shocked, but I drive a Jeep, and I'm a Jeep Grand Cherokee kind of guy. If we want to go, normal crypto, Bobby. I would settle for a Jeep SRT. That would be pretty legit. I would settle for a Jeep SRT. That would be, you still get the convenience of a Jeep, but you can still rip that thing around. So I'll take a Jeep SRT. Three cryptos that I think would potentially have reasonably fast growth. So I don't want to necessarily, obviously not investment advice per usual. It depends upon what type of reasonably fast growth you're looking at. I do think that the privacy coins right now are undervalued. I think both Monero and Zcash are undervalued. When you think, Verge and Zcash are the same valuation, and Monero is at $6 billion market cap, I think both. I would have a privacy coin. I would say this. I would have a privacy if you want to find reasonably fast growth per se. I always recommend having a portion of Bitcoin. If I don't know if Bitcoin's going to give you the biggest, the biggest portion of growth, but I think it will give you stability. But I would say having a privacy coin and having a decentralized exchange coin, whether it's 0x, whether it's Kyber, whether it's AirSwap, or any other decentralized exchange cryptos out there. Somebody said shirt tug. Yeah, drink up, kids. I would have a DEX, I would have a privacy coin, and maybe either Bitcoin or Ethereum. Dale Burton, appreciate that super chat. No one talking about Axpire nearly sold. Have a look. I don't know too much about Axpire. ICO. Pre-sale on now. A lot of people mentioning Z Classic. We could talk a little bit about Z Classic too. Shane Stewart, skip my super chat. Did I? No, I didn't, dude. You got to wait in line, brother. You got to wait in line. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know too much about Axpire, to be pretty frank. I would need to go through the ICO to see kind of what the deal is. I don't know why this would need a token and why it wouldn't just be software as a service though. There are a lot of things out there that I have questions about. Yeah, Jeep Trackhawk looks legit. But there are a lot of tokens out there that could probably just be software. And why would they not be a software as a service company? I don't know too much about these guys off the top, but why would they not be a SaaS company? Do they really need to be decentralized? And is this, is a SaaS solution any better? I see everybody's favorite dude on the planet, Roger Ver, as joining as an advisor, so that might help pump those guys up. But outside of that, I don't know too much about them other than it looks like this is a SaaS product that is just adding a token to it, and they have Roger as an advisor. How come you never mention anything about LTC? Because I hate Litecoin and I hate you. No, I'm just kidding. Litecoin has lost a lot of steam, and it's just it's chilled out since its run, and I don't know if the run's over or not, but I do think that Charlie Lee selling all of his Litecoin had a negative effect on Litecoin. Whether you want to admit that or not, granted the entire market has pulled back pretty significantly. Most of the Bitcoin market has pulled back, and in a lot of cases, Litecoin trades kind of in relation in I would say not in a full on pairing to Bitcoin. I do think that Charlie selling his Litecoin turned a lot of people off, and yeah, I don't know. I do personally. For me, I use Litecoin. I think Litecoin is the most usable cryptocurrency right now for value transfer and transactions. I use Litecoin between exchanges, and it has been it's one of the most usable cryptocurrencies. But from an actual investment standpoint, I don't know. Mazacoin got an update roadmap price increase recently. It's the only sovereign coin of the tribal nations around. Thoughts? What do you got here? How big is this? It's less than 5 mil in market cap. There's only $36,000 in volume on a daily basis. To be pretty frank, I'm sure a lot of people in this super chat could wipe out that volume, including myself, in the course of a day pretty easily. So I don't really like playing around with anything that has that little liquidity. And I don't know, that scares me. I don't know what the use case is for a cryptocurrency network for sovereign tribes, but I typically don't play around with something that has that small of a liquidity. Somebody said, what's my process for trading in Litecoin? Pretty simple. I either buy, typically I have Bitcoin on GDAX. I will exchange Bitcoin on whatever exchange, wherever I have Litecoin, I will have Litecoin on Coinbase or GDAX, or I'll have Bitcoin on Coinbase or GDAX. I will switch that to Litecoin, so I'll trade Bitcoin for Litecoin. From there, I will move my Litecoin over to Bittrex or somewhere else. I'll move that to my Litecoin wallet in Bittrex, and I will trade Litecoin for Bitcoin or for Ethereum. And then from there, I will trade for the crypto pairs that I need. So that's basically the exact strategy. It's not really a strategy, but that's basically what I use. I just get Litecoin. I move that from wherever I can get Litecoin from. I'll move that to Bittrex. I will trade that Litecoin for Bitcoin or for Ethereum. And then from there, I'll buy an altcoin. Crusader General, what's up, dude? Thoughts on PlayKey, PKT? We've talked about these guys before. Decentralized or gaming is interesting for sure. Engine Coin, shout out to the Engine Coin hodlers. That was one of one of the only sponsored videos I've ever done, and Engine Coin has made a nice comeback, so I'm happy to see that. I probably sold my Engine Coin too early, but such is life, and that is what it is. Is what it is there. On the play key side of the house, I do think this could potentially be an interesting one. I'm sure it's pretty early on. I don't know, technically speaking, how good of an experience cloud gaming on a decentralized system is, because I think gamers don't necessarily care as much about Again, if you're trying to play a video game and the experience sucks, then you're not going to choose a decentralized video game platform solely because it's decentralized. You're going to play where you have a good gaming experience. So I don't know at what point in time, or I don't know where PlayKey is from an actual gaming experience, how good they are. Apparently you can play GTA 5 with no lag, but all it takes is one person to probably lag a little bit, and then everybody's like, yo, this system sucks, whatever. So I think they probably have to execute quite a bit on their vision. It's pretty easy to tell when, if you're playing a video game, it's pretty easy to tell when it's lagging, when it sucks, when it's not a fun experience. So yeah, I think that depending upon how they can execute, it could be an interesting play, but it'll be pretty easy to see if it's a good system or if it's not, if it's working or if it's not working. Brad Jacko, thoughts on the Jeep Trackhawk? I would buy that in a second. Tough to justify spending that much money on a Jeep, but at the same point in time, that thing absolutely rips. And one day when I'm really, really crypto rich, we're gonna, I'll have a Jeep Trackhawk maybe. So we'll take a look to what's going on in on-chain FX, just as far as the big movers on the day and the big dippers as well. And as I'm doing that, yeah, guys, if you are new to the channel, or somebody said, what's the drink of choice tonight? It is high quality H2O, proudly from Maine. It's proudly from Maine. But I'll take a little bit of a look. So the biggest loser on the day right now is Bitcoin, Made Safe, Gnosis, Economy, Arc, Verge. Biggest winners on the day, we got Binance Coin has crushed it, which has been very surprising. I have a tiny little bit of a bag of Binance Coin, not too much, but I've been pretty shocked about how well Binance Coin has done, as well as Qcoin. That has done really well too. But if you guys are new to the channel, would really appreciate a subscribe and for you to hit the notify bell so that the next time I do come on here, you're able to join from the beginning. And if you like the video, hit that like button. That would be very much appreciated. And thank you guys so much for all of your time too. I really do appreciate it. I'm not going anywhere right now, but just wanted to say if you dig it, if you dig the videos, certainly hit that hit that button. And yeah, somebody said won't spam, but one more try. BNB 10x in a month. It has utilities. It has utility savings, 50 fees. Will it die? I don't know if BNB will die. The coin will die, but Binance is right now the largest exchange by volume. So it is the largest exchange by volume. So when you think about that, having a fairly valuable crypto token might be pretty valuable long term as well. So I'm not betting big on Binance. I probably should have, but it's certainly something that from a, let's see, all-time high, it might be pretty close to the all-time high if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Binance Coin is right now at its all-time high, which is pretty impressive. Somebody said favorite ski mountain. I'm pretty new to skiing. I've only gone in the Northeast. Gone to Vermont a couple times. Stratton, Killington. I'm pretty bad overall. I took my first lesson earlier this year, so I can now go down greens, blues, and I went down my first black this week. So we're good. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting not as bad. ZCL. So we could talk a little bit. A lot of people are talking about that. So what is we could let's see if there's a decent little article we could talk about. Z Classic. If I pull out my initial investment, do I need to pay taxes on it? Yes, you will, depending upon, I don't know what jurisdiction you're at. But basically what's happening, if you take an initial investment, you pull out your initial investment, you would pay capital gains tax on that according to whether or not it was a long-term hold, so over a year, or if it was short-term capital gains tax less than a year. And then you pay, if it's long-term capital gains tax, you pay according to your income level. If it's short-term capital gains tax, or if it's long-term capital gains tax, you're going to pay a reduced number there. So I think ZCL has been crushing it recently. There we go. There we are. Actually, no, it's pulled back a little bit. It was at was it at 2 hundo? Yes, it was at 2 hundo. Now it's at 165. I believe Ledger is going to be crediting you for, ZCL if you own Bitcoin. So, and my understanding too is this is probably going to be one of the better executed Bitcoin forks out there. I do believe that they, and I could be mistaken, but if somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe they already have replay protection in place. They're going to be adding a level of privacy to Bitcoin off the top. And yeah, I've heard from a number of people that I trust. I haven't done an incredible amount of due diligence, so there could be a little bit of misinformation here potentially, but I know a number of people are pretty confident on the Z Classic fork, and if Ledger is supporting that, I will happily collect that. I'll definitely happily collect that. So taking a look at some of these, see the targeted Vanguard ad. Have you been investing in Vanguard retail as well? No, I actually don't have a Vanguard account. Thoughts on XRB going to Binance? It should be interesting when XRB gets that additional level of liquidity because it's been surviving at some smaller exchanges. Shout out Kyle for his early call. I will always remember Kyle's call on XRB when he pulled a 20, 25x, whatever the heck it was, because kid crushed it. Somebody said, any thoughts on Blockfolio to, I don't know if that's Blackfolio, or I don't know if Blackfolio is different than Blockfolio. I'm assuming it's Blockfolio. Any thoughts on Blockfolio to manage your crypto portfolio? I mean, it's just tracking. I've switched from Blockfolio to I've switched over from Blockfolio personally to Delta, and I've liked Delta. It's been a pretty solid app. So somebody said, don't want to spam, but how can the U.S. government know all crypto-to-crypto transactions if you use a privacy coin such as Monero or don't have level 2 verification on exchanges? I mean, I think it's probably going to be difficult for the government. I do know that they are paying probably pretty exorbitant sums of money to these software companies, and I forget, I was reading an article the other day. There's a company that their pretty much full-time job now is going around and doing research into blockchain transactions, trying to find fraud, tax evasion, all that type of stuff. So there's going to be, the government knows that they're not stupid. They know that there was $600 billion of wealth creation pretty much out of nowhere. So they want their cut. They want their share. They can't. They're bluffing and fudding. I think you need to just redefine the word fudding, because the government saying that they want to, have you pay taxes is not FUD. That's not fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Somebody said, can you offset capital gains by buying a miner and running for a profit to mine and expensing the miner? To my understanding, too, any gains you make from mining cryptocurrency, that is actually, you have to pay capital gains tax on mining income as well. It's taxed basically like regular income it is. So yeah, I don't know how much. I mean, it depends upon how you kind of structure that and what you might do there, but that's actually taxable income there as well. Somebody said open an LLC. Yeah, if you're making enough money, opening up an LLC is probably a smart move. How would the government know I'm mining? I don't know. They knock on your door? I have no clue. I'm just saying that's by the letter of the law, that is what you are supposed to be doing. If you are mining crypto, I think that's probably more for like big, Jihan Wu and those guys. Not that they're in the U.S. or anything like that, but for big miners, you are supposed to be paying income tax on that. But yeah, I don't, unless they're knocking on your door. Yeah, and like Kyle said, if you are confused about tax, just sign up for bitcoin.tax. The link is below. I've used it. You literally just download a bunch of CSV files from any of the exchanges you use, and they literally will calculate all your potential gains. Even if you don't want to, even if you are like Mr. Whatever, it's cool for profit and loss. So just to get an idea of what... just to get an idea of kind of what the deal is with your P&L, bitcoin.tax is pretty legit. Here's the link if you want it. I'll throw it in the comments too. Yeah, just through the link. It's cryptobobby.com/bitcointax is the link. Somebody said, I lost money, too sad to do taxes. Well, you lost money. I don't know how on earth you lost money in crypto in the past year, but if you lost money, that's also, you can claim that as a loss. If you can claim capital gains, you can write off a loss in crypto as well. So, do that. Why would you not do that? Somebody said, can I write off losses on bad trades? Yeah, absolutely. That's the entire point. What is Tether? Why does it always stay the same price? Tether is magical internet. If you think Bitcoin is magical internet money, Tether is magical internet money. And yeah, it is. It's supposed to be pegged to the dollar. It's supposed to be a stable coin. There is a lot of controversy around Tether as to whether or not it has legitimate backing. Where is Tether? Tether. Yeah, down to 33. Tether dipping. So you'll notice here Tether is $1. If you are not familiar with it, Tether trades under the symbol USDT, and it is created by a pretty shady organization. If you go on Twitter, you can search Bitfinex on Twitter. He is somebody that is absolutely fully convinced that that Tether is a fraud, and that Tether is utilized in conjunction with Bitfinex to spike the markets up. So I would take a look at that. Short term, you can probably, you can trade your money in and out of Tether if you need it. The biggest use case for Tether is if you think the market's crashing and you want to quickly trade your money in and out. But let's say your money is on Binance or Bittrex and you see the market crashing last night. You wanted to sell because you think it's gonna drop quite a bit. You can trade your money to USDT. You can trade your Bitcoin to USDT. And then once it's in USDT, it's basically going to stay stable because USDT is always at $1. However, long term, I wouldn't trust Tether too much. There's a lot of compelling evidence against Tether, which makes me nervous. So I would have a difficult time recommending anybody I would have a difficult time recommending anybody keep money in Tether for the long term. Why is there a high volume for Tether? Because it's traded on a number of exchanges with the markets here. You can get Tether on, but you could trade Tether on Binance, on Huobi, on OKX, on Poloniex, on Bittrex, on Bitfinex, obviously. So there are a number of exchanges you can trade Tether on. So looking at some of these chats here. XRP up, watch and buy in all caps. Please talk about Neo. Okay, let's talk about Neo. Let's talk about Neo. Neo was hot for a hot minute back in the day, and I invested in Neo. Where was it? Back when Neo was Ant shares, and where was it? I got into Neo like late June, spiked way up, and then Neo crashed when all the China FUD came out about China banning ICOs, and then also banning cryptocurrency trading. So that crashed the price of Neo for a pretty good period of time. You can see, let's see here. It's really only on Bitcoin we can look at. But that crashed the price of Neo for the time being. Really for quite some time, that China news put Neo in a death spiral for a bit. And it's since recovered nicely since mid-December, like a lot of altcoins have. I do think Neo is pretty interesting long-term as they continue to add new ICOs to the mix. So that's something you're going to want to keep an eye on. As you can see with Ethereum, the more ICOs that happen, I think the more kind of value goes into the platform. The same could potentially be said about Neo if they can really execute a number of ICOs long-term and they can start kind of pushing those out. Appreciate the super chats there. I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of your name, Itisham, and Dylan as well. Itisham mentioned thoughts on Null and IRC, so we can pull up Null real quick. I don't have too much on IRC, to be pretty frank. Null's, I think we talked about yesterday. It's had a pretty impressive run since December, since obviously a lot of things have as well. It's interesting enough for me to want to check out in a little bit more detail. As far as the architecture goes, I don't know off the top really how. I know it's supposed to be modular, and that's kind of that added twist that something like some of the other platforms might not have in place, but I don't know what the developer adoption is. I don't really know if it is legit cross-chain wise and kind of how legit the architecture and the tech is. So we'll have to see. I mean, the main chain's supposed to launch in March. Dylan, appreciate that super chat there as well. So at this point in time too, guys, it's getting a little bit late this evening. I need a little bit of rest, so I'm gonna take it easy for the rest of the night. I really do appreciate all the questions, all the super chats, obviously, and all the participation here at this point in time. If you guys need anything, definitely feel free to sound off in the comments afterwards. Happy to address that, and look forward for a daily video tomorrow morning. Really do appreciate the time. Looking forward to keeping you guys in the loop. As always, any questions, anything you need at all, please let me know. Thank you guys so much for your time. Crypto Bobby signing out. Have a good one. Peace. Last one. Okay, Dylan. I'm kidding. Gotta take the last super chat. No more super chats. Done. After Dylan. Thoughts on XRP? Is it a part of your portfolio? XRP is not a part of my portfolio. I personally thought I think XRP is probably one of the stronger business teams out there. If you want to look at my portfolio, you can certainly do that. I think XRP is probably one of the stronger business teams out there. But as far as just my personal opinion about XRP, it is, let's see here, just from what they're doing, like technically speaking, and the utilization of the actual XRP token. I know a lot of people question how heavily the XRP token actually needs to be utilized, and I also feel like I missed out on the pump. So I wasn't that impressed. I wasn't very interested in early December when XRP was cheap, and now that it's expensive, I am less interested in XRP. So I missed out. If you got in early, good on you because you've crushed it. I mean, as far as the valuation right here, I don't know if it's something I would touch, but that's just me. That's my personal opinion. So, all right, guys. Well, if you need my portfolio, I think the link somebody said there might have been a 404. Just go to cryptobobby.com/ and then you'll see it in the top. You'll see it in the top right. If you need that, so go to cryptobobby.com there. Anything else, please let me know, guys. I'm going to head to bed. Really do appreciate the time, though. Signing out, guys. Have a good one. Peace.